Hey, call me Shape. And today I'm reacting to a video titled Ex-Stripper Hates Men But Thinks She Has Options. Let's get right into it.
Most husbands hate their wives. They do. I danced for 4 years. I stripped for 4 years. I danced from 2011 to 2015. I know everything there is to know about men, okay? I've never been naive to the bullshit. I found out male nature for what it was at 19 years old. Never been married before. Don't want to ever be married. Don't ever want to have children. I've just seen too much. I know men too much. My father has also been very honest with me about male nature, and just with him being honest just with his own lifestyle, and just how he operates as a man, and even the men that he surrounds himself around, how they operate. And one thing that I noticed at the strip club is that all the married men would trauma dump on me about their wives, how they weren't attracted to their wives anymore. A lot of them lose attraction for their wives after they have children. They start to feel very neglected after their wife has children, and a lot of them complain about how their wives let themselves go. They're fat, they're overweight, they don't look as pretty anymore. They bicker a lot, they fight a lot, they nag a lot, they complain a lot. And I think that this is very important information for a lot of women to understand and know, because I just did a video about this. But too many women believe that because their husband hasn't left them, that their husband likes them. And that couldn't be any further than the truth. This is why most of the demographic of, men that are buying escorts and OnlyFans and stuff like that, most of them are married. Most of I always joke around and I always say, there's no man more single than a married man. And the reason why men that are married cheat so much is because they were sold a dream too. They were, through patriarchy, they were sold a dream too. And they were sold the dream that they were going to get all their needs met from one woman. They were going to get their emotional, their sexual, the domestic things taken care of. They were told that they just needed one woman to do that. And then they quickly realized that that's not the case. And we also have to realize that internally, men struggle a lot. Men don't know how to emotionally regulate on their own.
Here comes the bullshit. Men don't know how to emotionally regulate. You are wrong. Men do not emotionally regulate the men you're familiar with. And this is the problem. This former stripper thinks she knows everything there is to know about men, because clearly every man goes to the strip club. Let me tell you something, lady. I don't go to strip clubs. I hate the strip club. I think the strip club is a waste of time. I'd rather do anything but go to the strip club. Literally. Anything but go to the strip club. But you know what? This is why we have this channel, to react to women who say delusional, stupid things like this. And she said that she don't want to get married, she don't want to have kids. She's been ruined. Now, here's a question that she should ask. Why were you a stripper at 19? Because every girl doesn't become a stripper, just like every man doesn't end up in a strip club. Okay? Now, she says most husbands hate their wives. How could you speak for most husbands? I could understand if you said most men that go to the strip club that are married hate their wives, but most husbands? Really? Do you really believe the men you're around are a microcosm of all men? Because if you believe that, you're the idiot. See, people take their anecdotal experience and extrapolate it to the world. Oh, the whole world's like this. And this is what happens to people in the hood. The people who are in the hood, they think, oh, the whole world's like this. Or people in the suburbs. People in the suburbs like, the whole world's like this. And these people are naive. They're not worldly enough, because everything they're surrounded by, they assume that everything's in their backyard is the way the world works. And it's not. Okay, I just came back from Africa. Let me tell you, the world is very different in Africa. Okay, it's very different. And it's funny because, to me, listening to her, now I understand why a lot of women, based on their trauma, are ruined for life. If a woman's traumatized, I'm telling you, when a woman is traumatized, she's ruined for life. She's no good. You might as well discard her. She's no good, okay? And so, this lady actually is a content creator now, believe it or not. She creates content. I came across some of her content before. I want to show you some of the new content she got going on, but just try to kind of show you how this ex-stripper has turned into a dating coach. Can you believe it? Yeah, she's a dating coach now. Anyway, let's listen to what she has to say. This is some of her other content on my For You page. Hey, listen up, Shape Squad. Are you tired of being ignored by women? Well, download my free ebook, Be Attractive and Shut Up. It's going to teach you how to master attraction, build unshakable confidence, and win with women without words. Because chances are you're not ugly, you just talk too damn much. So download my free ebook, Be Attractive and Shut Up, and take control of your dating life right now. Now let's get right back to the content.
Reason why, if you're pretty, number one, you need to know that you're pretty. Number two, you need to be pretty and mean. Do not scroll away. Do not wipe off of this video because you think that you're not pretty. Most men believe that most women are pretty. They've even done data. They have data on this, that with dating apps, men perceive about 85% of women to be attractive, okay? Men see most women as attractive. So please don't sit here and be like, no, but I know I'm not pretty. I'm telling you, in most cases, you're pretty. If you are pretty, you need to be mean, okay? Men and women, but we're going to talk about men specifically. Men want you to be bad for feeling pretty. They want you to feel guilty for being pretty. That's the reason why when a woman is basking in her beauty, such as looking at herself in the mirror, we're seeing it a lot on social media with women like taking selfies and like checking themselves out. And men will just unwarranted, stop taking those pictures, stop recording yourself. That is them showing that not only are they jealous, but they want you to feel guilty for having beauty. When you are not mean, and let's go on ahead and talk about what mean is, okay? I'm not talking mean as how it's depicted in the media. You know, the bully, you know, the girl that's picking on everybody. That's not what I mean by mean. By mean, I mean assertive. Okay, you having boundaries, you not putting up with shit, you understanding who you are, what you deserve, and how people should be treating you. A pretty girl should always be a mean girl. Because what a lot of men are expecting is for you to be pretty and people humble you so much that you then feel guilty for being pretty. And then what happens is that you essentially start selling yourself short as a person. Well, because
this doesn't have to happen. It's so interesting. This girl generalizes everything. You generalize everything. You don't know what you're talking about. First of all, she loves to use the word most. Most men think most women are pretty. That's false. Okay? Finding women attractive on average is not the same as thinking most women are pretty. Pretty is a level above average. Most men find women to be of average attraction, therefore they find them averagely attractive. Right? Because if you're an average guy and you okay with the way you look, you find a girl who's average as well. You find them attractive because you're attracted to yourself. Average should be attracted to average. Okay, so men were rational enough to be attracted to average girls. Problem is, the average girl's not attracted to the average guy, and this is where a lot of the problems lie. Another thing she said is that if you're pretty, you should be mean. And by mean, she means you have boundaries and be assertive, right? Because men are going to try to make you feel guilty about being pretty. Girl, I don't know what you're talking about. This lady, and this is what happens when you don't have emotional intelligence, when you've been so traumatized that you only see the world through your rose-colored lenses. Okay? I work with a girl at my job. She's pretty, she's attractive, and she's not mean. She's very kind. And guess what? Every man at my job thinks she is the most wifey potential woman at our job. I've asked multiple men, who you think, how many girls here you think are wives? They all talk about her. And let me tell you something. She's not mean to nobody. I've never seen her be mean in my life. Never, not one time. I'm sure dudes try to hit on her, get with her. She has a boyfriend, but she's always polite to her. She's always polite, and she always just avoids conflict. She never has be mean and nasty. But a lot of women think in order to stand up for yourself, you need to be mean and nasty. But that's one thing you could do. You could also walk away. Not everyone's going to treat you the way you want to be treated. You can't just demand to be treated a certain way. There's some rude people out there that there's nothing you can do to stop them from being rude. I've seen this girl that I'm describing in conflict before, and she always tries to de-escalate situations. That's what she tries to do. Okay? So no, you don't have to be mean if you're pretty. That is a falsehood. But then again, what do you expect an ex-stripper to think? She doesn't know much, okay? She doesn't know much. Anyway, I found some other interesting clips on TikTok. You know, TikTok is a wild, wild west. Let's listen to what this girl has to say.
This is what I honestly believe. I believe that there's a massive shift that's happening as it relates to women. And to your point, AJ, a lot of women are waking up. That is what's happening. And I remember when I first told my now ex-husband that I wanted a divorce. It was after going to a personal development conference. And I came back on fire. I'm like, I've just been around all these thousands of women doing this inner work. Like, I just felt like so full. Then I turned 40 that same month. And I was like, wait a minute, something's off. And then the pandemic hit. And it was a wake-up call for me to start to look at my life and realize the life I had been living was not the life that I signed up for. And it took so much for me not to fall back asleep. And what I mean by that is getting back into the routine of the same thing in and day out. And I didn't want that anymore. And I had to keep taking steps forward, whether it was seeing a therapist, reading a book, having conversations with my friends to get to the place that I was in where I no longer wanted to be married. And it was a difficult conversation, but at the end of the day, it wasn't what I wanted anymore. And what I'm now realizing, looking back over being married for 19 years with him since I was 18, I had been asleep for a long time. In fact, I've probably been asleep my whole marriage, and I got numb and I just thought, oh, this is how marriage is. But in actuality, no. There are people out there that have healthy, happy marriages. I just didn't have that. And so what I think is happening, if y'all go back to the last couple of videos where I mentioned how I don't want to get married anymore and I don't want to live with a man again, and then all these comments from women all over the world saying the same thing. So to your point, yes, we're waking up.
I don't think you're waking up. I think you fell asleep at the wheel and hit a tree. What is this girl talking about? Hey, yo. The self-sabotage is real. Oh my God. Oh my God. This girl literally had the dream life. She got married when she was 18. She was married for 19 years. And then she went to one personal development conference with a bunch of feminists and thought to herself, oh, something's off. I don't want to be here anymore. I'm awake now. And this is why they call it the woke movement. Yeah, of course you're woke. You're not. I don't know if you're awake. You're part of the woke movement. But this is what the woke movement does. It ruins women. This woman was married. She was just bored. And now she wants to become an independent boss babe. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So now she's 40 years old and she's not going to be with a man anymore. What? Wow. This is sad. I could roast her, but this is really sad. This is tragic. This is absolutely tragic. Can you imagine? Can you imagine the amount of indoctrination that's occurring into our women right now? That they throw away perfectly fine marriages just to be single and spinsters. Because other women are doing it. And she said to herself, when I start talking about like this and other women, and they all came support me. Yeah, because there's a bunch of lonely women and misery loves company. What do you mean? You're shocked that there's other... This is... Oh my God. Wow. Unbelievable. I'm speechless, bro. Please, someone in the comment, write and address all your critiques about this lady who has natural dreads, I don't like the tattoo on her arm, but like, wow. We're gonna move on. Yeah, I'm just speechless. Anyway, here's another content creator who put a clip on TikTok that I thought was interesting. Let's listen to what she has to say.
I'm really struggling to understand men's relationship to the word stranger. And by struggle, I mean I don't materially give a fuck, but due to conditions outside of my control, such as existing within society and men seeing that as an invitation to listen to them speak, this issue that they have with the word stranger has become like a kinky dink in my brain and given me their confusion. There is a conversation being had about how to be safe when getting to know a man, and for those of you who are not clear on it, you typically get to know a person when they are a stranger, so a stranger. And this guy was like, this is just so sad. All you women think men are like this. All men require you to be careful when getting to know them. But in reality, there's just so many good guys out there. And in my head, I'm like, oh no, I said it out loud. I said, okay, miss, I'm not like other girls. You're establishing that you're not like other men. Therefore, there are men that need to be regarded this way. How the fuck am I supposed to know which man you are if you're a fucking stranger? Same thing, like in the comment section of one of my videos, this guy was like, I'm offended that you would assume that I meant that. Who the fuck are you? I don't know you. That's the point. I don't fucking know you. Why would you be offended by someone not knowing you? You know we don't know each other and you're offended that I don't. What the fuck is wrong with you? You're telling me if you walked up to another man on the street and you're like, give me your bank account number and your social security number, and he was like, no, you're like, oh, that's so offensive that you think that I'm somebody who would rob you. Why don't you understand the word stranger? It's not tricking me into thinking I know you. It's just making me think you're dumb. I'm really struggling to understand.
You know, she thinks she cooked there. I could tell she thinks she cooked there. This is why women need men. This is why women need men. Listen. This idea that all men are strange and all strangers are capable of evil is a bad premise to live your life. That is a bad foundation for men. And let me tell you something, it's not something that could actually work very well. Because if you were in need of help, when that lady, I showed one of my community posts, I put out a story about how a woman was about to be kidnapped in broad daylight in New York, and she screamed help, and a bunch of strangers saved her. Yeah, strangers. People she'd never met before. People she wouldn't give her bank account or a social security number to, but they, oh my God, I'm dropping my pen just because I'm like yelling and screaming. But they came to her rescue. Now, the thing about this that bothers me about women is that they believe that, and they were taught this whole stranger danger thing when they were kids, and I get that. But the reality of it is, just because someone you don't know them, to start off with the premise that they're evil and you got to be cautious of them is wrong. Okay? This is like a bad premise. Are there people you should be cautious of? Yes. But we live in America where it's relatively safe. To walk around with, looking behind your back and blah, blah, doesn't make any sense. 2, when you go into stores and when you go to get services, you're meeting strangers. If you walk into Chanel right now, if you walk into Versace right now, the people behind the desk, you don't know them. You're not going to ask where to them. And when they want to ring up your order, you're not going to say, well, I don't know if I want to give you my card because you might take my card. You might copy it. You might scan it. You will just trust them, right? So this idea that we don't regularly trust strangers is ridiculous. If a cop pulls you over, he's a stranger. How do you know you should trust him? This idea that you can't trust anyone if you don't know them is ridiculous, especially when a lot of people you know, you can't trust the people that you even know because they'll stab you in your back. So, no, this idea that and women only do this for the men that they're dating. And like I said, they don't do it when they go to stores. They don't do it when the police pull them over. They don't go if they got to get their car fixed. If a tow guy gets to pick up their car because their car broke down on the highway, whatever situation they come in contact with new people, they never do this before. They only do this for men they go on dates with. They got to send people their address. And I'm not saying you shouldn't. Do it. Fine. Fair enough. Take your precautions all you want, all right? But to treat someone like you're suspicious of them is uncomfortable in dating. I don't know why women think we want to date you if you have to keep up this act that, oh yeah, well, I don't know if you're going to kidnap me or not. I don't know what you're going to do either. Anyway, I mean, men in the comments, please address this. Please address this. Anyway, I found another video that was interesting on TikTok. Let's listen to what she has to say.
Y'all ever had that turn your location off link up before? So boom, it's like 12:30 in the morning and little fine shit gonna text my phone talking about something. I want you to turn your location off and come stay with me tonight. So I get up and I start packing my spend the night bag. And I know what y'all are thinking. Damn KB, all he had to do was text one message and you going like that? First of all, bitch, I was 5 to 6 Don Julio shots in at this point. So regardless, something was getting knocked. Either me on that bed or this motherfucking coochie. Mind your business. Anyway, I told him, yeah, that's fine, but I'm drunk as hell right now and I can't drive. So can you send me an Uber? He was like, yeah, that's fine. Just send me your low. And the 15 minutes passed, the Uber get here and I slide to Fine Shit house. When I pull up, I see Fine Shit waiting for me at the end of the driveway. So I get out the car, I greet him. He tells me that he got some homeboys inside and they got some shawties pulling up. So I'm like, all right, that's cool. It's giving kickback vibes. You feel me? When I walk in, I see 3 other dudes inside. And immediately they like, oh, you gotta take a shot. You gotta take a shot. So I'm like, okay, y'all, that's fine. Let me go to the bathroom real quick and I got y'all. So I run to the bathroom and at this point I'm texting my sister because somebody gotta know what my dumb ass is doing, you know? Anyway, I'm mid-pee and I look at the trash can and I kid y'all not, I see 5 honey packets empty in that bitch. So I'm like, oh hell nah, like what the fuck they got going on in here? So whatever, I don't say nothing. I wash my hands and I walk back out there. Fast forward, me and Fine Shit chopping it up with his friends and I realize it's been 2 hours and no shotties have pulled up. So I pull Fine Shit to the side and I'm like, I thought y'all said some shotties was coming over. And he was like, bruh, I thought so too. I don't know, let me ask. So he asked his homeboy and his homeboy's like, shit, I don't know, they said they was on their way. I'm like, okay, whatever. More time has passed and one of his homeboys have left. So now it's just me, Fine Shit, and his 2 other homeboys. But now we've gotten to the point that anytime Fine Shit leave the room, his 2 other friends get to sharking on me real bad. So I'm like, oh, I know what this is. Y'all trying to run a choo-choo. Y'all trying to run a choo-choo on me. So boom, operation y'all got me fucked up goes into full motion. I've only taken 3 real shots with him. Then I started complaining that I don't like it when other people pour my shots, so I started pouring my own. But instead of me pouring it full liquor, I do 75% water and then add the liquor on top. If you've seen any of my videos, you already know where this is going. So every 10 minutes, I'm like, come on, y'all, let's take a shot, let's take a shot. I kid y'all not, I did that shit like 6 times with him. And they homeboy passed out on the couch. Now I start talking shit to everyone else like, oh, you a lightweight, y'all can't hang with me, y'all don't want to drink for real, y'all don't drink for real. So we take like 3 more shots. Don't forget, y'all, mine is mixed with 75% water, so I'm thriving right now. Also, don't ask me how I do this. I'm true to this, baby, never new to this, okay? I need you to keep up. This time, his last homeboy is stumbling. So I'm like, all right, bet. I'm going to give him a little bit of time. Fine Shit put me to the side like, hey, I'm going to put on a movie and we can chill in the living room. So I'm like, all right, bet. So the movie is on and I'm looking at both of them and I can tell they are fighting for their lives to stay up right now. But little do they know, I stream every night till about 8 to 9 o'clock in the morning. So, baby, I wasn't sleepy at all and I'm just watching them like this. Hi. Anyway, 30 minutes go by and I kid y'all not, I check on both of them and they are slumped, y'all. I'm talking knockout round, knock the fuck out. I slowly get up, I grab my stuff, I grab my phone, I order an Uber, and I get the fuck out of there. Next morning, I get a text from Fine Shit talking about, oh my God, I'm so sorry I fell asleep on you, but why you leave, yada, yada, yada. I respond back like, you and your friend were out cold, so I left. It's all good though. He respond back and he like, damn, I sold. And I'm like, yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that was the last time I ever talked to that Fine Shit. Moral of the story, ladies, keep that location on. All ever had.
Okay. What a wild story. And by the way, she's a streamer. Shout out to K Bakes. Shout out to all my content creators, man. It's a small community out here. We all gotta get along, okay? You see the contrast between her and the last girl about the whole stranger danger thing? This girl waited till she had reason to believe, reason to suspect something, okay? She waited till she had evidence. Little Fine Shit, which, by the way, I didn't know. Is that what the young people call each other now? Fine Shit, fine this, fine that. Okay, whatever. Little Fine Shit, saying, called her over. She slowed through. She wanted to get knocked down. This nigga, though, however, in my personal opinion, bro, why are you inviting a girl over and have your homies there, bro? Not the waves. They see, the minute you realize that her friends ain't coming through, or your friends ain't coming through, tell them niggas to go home, or send them in another room, or something. Separation right away. But anyway, he had these dudes and they all eating honey packs before girls even get there. Which, by the way, I've never even seen a honey pack before, so I don't know what it would look like, but I'm going to take her word for it, right? Honey packs, right? These are dudes that they clearly got ED, right? They can't get an erection. Anyway, she thought outside the box and played along and did some smooth shit and got her ass up out of there. I respect that, because without even looking like a hater or crazy person or whatever, she played them. She played them at their own game. And honestly, they probably weren't even dangerous anyway. They wanted to smash, but they weren't going to do it aggressively, right? That's what I take from it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all might read something else, but my read from it is they were hoping to get something. They didn't get any. You know what I'm saying? And she was just more clever than them. To me, personally, this is the way you got to carry it. The last girl her walk around scared of everybody, chances are she's going to end up with a dude who puts hands on her and she's going to stay there long term. Okay? Or she's going to be with someone that's so beta, she's going to put hands on him. That's my view of that, okay? Anyway, I got one more video here. This video I thought was very interesting. Let's listen to what she has to say, and we will respond.
Dating in Houston is so annoying. Like, it's mad annoying. I literally just got off the phone with somebody, and we were talking about this, and it was a guy, and he was like, when you gon' give the cat up? And I'm like, baby, I'm not giving no cat up. Mind you, I don't even know this man like that. Like, we literally just met like a week ago, and he hasn't done anything or set the tone and did anything, right? Now, granted, I'm not gonna lie, I done had the dates rolled out, red carpet, roses in the black truck, or picking me up in a Rolls Royce. I've had the tippity toppest, and I've had chill dates. I'm a chill, humble girl. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I don't mind anything unless it's good vibes, good energy, good aura, good conversation. You know what I'm saying? But you not finna just be asking me for that and you ain't even do nothing. But here's the more annoying part about it, right? It's the fact that he was like, yeah, like, I literally like chilled with a girl and we DoorDash food and we had sex or whatever and da-da-da-da. And then this girl's telling me I gotta take her to Steak 48 on the first date. Mister, don't be mad because a woman has certain boundaries. Obviously, she has those boundaries. Those are the boundaries that she's setting for herself. The same way you're setting a boundary of fucking right away. Like, make it make sense. It don't make sense. Respect people's boundaries and move along. But I will say this. You bitches that don't require nothing, make it really hard for bitches like me that require top tier treatment.
You're not top tier. I just gotta let you know that. You require top tier treatment. The men that's picking you up in Rolls Royces and stuff like that, clearly they're rented or clearly they're scammers. You know, this idea that you're top tier when you got bat wings above your eyes, I don't think so. You don't even got your real hair on. So let's not, you're not top tier. You're not a top tier woman. You're a fake woman. We don't know what you even really look like. Okay? Let's get that clear. And second off, what the hell are you even wearing? What is that? What the hell is that? I digress. First off, she blamed Houston. Shout out to all my homies in Houston. I don't think Houston's the issue. She's talking about, oh, dating in Houston's so weird. You're the weird one. You're the weird one, okay? Women want you to spend so much money before you smash. And okay, I get it. That you are a prostitute, okay? You want to charge for your services. Let me tell you something. These girls who make you wine and dine them before you get the kitty cat, they're the most expensive women to date. Okay, I'm not saying that she should give it up right away, but this idea that you need to spend some money first in order to, you know what I'm saying, open up the legs. This is the most expensive escorts that exist. Okay, men, if you want kitty cat, don't be going to tell these girls, hey, when I'm going to get the cat. I know you think honesty is the best policy. It doesn't work with women. Women like to be finessed. They like to be lied to. They like to be played. Please go watch some TikTok videos and learn how women really are, okay? This doesn't work. Being honest up front, when I'm going to get the cat. Sounds like he's a lame. He don't got game, and that's probably a reflection on her, too. You know what I'm saying? Talking about she had the top tier and she had chill or whatever. She's just a humble what? You're a hoodlum. Stop it. You're a hoodlum, okay? Anyway, I just think that when you listen to stories like this and you watch videos like this, you have to understand where the dating market is right now. The dating market is full of bird brain chicks that expect top-notch service and restaurants all prior to sleeping with them, which is whatever. You can require whatever you want. And she thinks that that's normal and that's the way it should work. And this is why I'm telling you the dating market is trash now. Trash, low-quality women want you to take them out to prove that they have value. When if they had value, they would rock their own hair. They wouldn't need to wear excessive amount of makeup and bat wings above their eyes. I'm just saying, okay? Go for the traditional girls who are all natural, who would love a gym date, right? Like, doesn't mind working out or go to the park and play basketball or do some kind of sport, play pickleball, play tennis. You don't got to spend a bunch of money for their legs to open, okay? Because to me, if that's the case, then these girls are just smashing for experiences. They want to go on trip. They'll smash to go on trips or smash, you know what I'm saying, to go out in restaurants and live the and experience the world. Not worth it. Anyway, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Channel blowing up. I appreciate you guys. Check out some other videos, and I'll see y'all over there.